As soon as I started streaming, did you really just burp into the mic?
No.
Sounded like it. But that's a good way to open the show, right? Here we go.
Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bants and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome to the third live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from an undisclosed location hidden deep beneath the surface of the earth. With me, as always, is Mark.
Greetings.
And the missus.
Did you just say this was the third live edition? Are you
Yes.
sure you're live tonight?
Yes, I've been making up the numbers as I go along because we never agreed.
Okay.
And because I had been kept, I think you're wrong, but you know that's just me.
But I have the numbers on YouTube. I can look at the episode numbers.
That doesn't mean that they're right.
But they're
I
in
think-
order. They're in order.
Of what?
You
See,
may be
of
you may be
what?
counting ones that I don't count. What do you mean of what?
Reject the science.
No,
of
I
apology.
mean I don't count the special episodes. Like the cat episode and the movie episode. Those are special, so I don't count those.
I'm thinking not. So I gave up some time ago
Because I'm on
actually-
31.
Well, and last time I said that this is the 357th live edition, and you didn't say anything.
Well,
so-
I just wasn't listening.
And Quizzer's on.
Hello, Quizzer.
And they're moving. Poor people. I'd rather burn down our house than move.
Yeah, we've done it plenty of times. It's been exciting
Yeah.
every time.
All right. So
Burning down your house or moving?
well, I shouldn't say.
Yeah, same difference.
Yeah, well, we don't have Alia S. Wilder because she's the last person to really try to burn the house down.
That's true.
You want to know this is a pretty good story. You want to tell the story because I'll tell it. I'll tell what I saw. Okay. So I had been out doing something, and Alia at that time, I think 12, 13.
Yeah, something like that. 6th or 7th grade.
Okay, so I walk up, and you're sitting on the steps. You're just kind of shaking you're not mad. The missus was not mad. I want to be clear in that case. But she's just kind of sitting on the front steps of our house, like 4 houses ago. And she just this huge bemused look on her face. And I go, "What's up?" What you recall what you said?
I do not recall exactly what I said.
It was like, "Go ask Alia." And so what had happened is, we had a fireplace, and so we had thrown, the just household debris.
No.
into
It was
the fireplace.
Aaliyah who was throwing all winter, blowing her nose and throwing the tissues in the fireplace.
Yeah. And so, well, actually, it'd been all summer because we burned the fireplace so much time.
Right, that's it.
Yep. And so anyway, during the summertime, because we like the house about 3 degrees inside, and it was a steamy jungle outside, the dampers closed. Well, she was
cleaning up, and she was
Yeah,
her plan
she-
was I'll just set it on fire. Right, it's in the fireplace. That's why.
Well,
it's there.
no. She was playing with matches.
No,
tossed one of
she
the
was
match-
cleaning
Okay, and so she tossed a match in there.
because she was in
However,
trouble. That's why she was downstairs. She was in trouble.
Yep. So anyway, okay. So there it is, some flammable material, like tissues. But not only is it tissues, it's all the dryer lint from like half a year. Okay. So it starts to flame up, which normally isn't a problem because the fire is in the fireplace. That's where you want the fire, is in the fireplace.
But then the smoke starts to billow into the downstairs of our house.
Yes.
And she panics.
It says she panics. And so what's the first thing you do when you panic? You take off your shirt, obviously. And so she took off her shirt and then began to try and use the shirt to not smother the fire, but to
Hit the
blow
fire.
more
Beat
air
the fire.
on-
No, she was
Yeah, to
hitting
beat-
it.
Yeah, she's eating the fire.
with her dry shirt.
And so dryer lint being, almost lighter than air, flaming dryer lint starts going all over the basement. And it lands in the carpet. And so this melting, burning dryer lint is, landing like an incendiary bomb. It's like turn our carpet into Dresden, essentially. I mean, there's little fires about the size of a quarter everywhere. And so you walk in and it kind of smells like, somebody had been burning GI Joes in the house.
No, well, that's what drew my attention to it, because I was upstairs and I was like, kind of smells like smoke. Oh my God, it kind of smells like smoke. So I went downstairs to see what was going on. And by this time it had occurred to her that there was actually a sink in the same room with her, because we had a wet bar. So she had gone over and gotten glasses of water to pour on the fire. So it was almost out by the time I got downstairs.
Yeah, that was particularly funny. So anyway, I don't know where we took that left turn into to story gold with that.
It was burning down our house.
Yes, yes, our house. It was in the middle of our street.
How did you not go with Talking Heads on that? How would you go with Madness?
Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
burning down the house. Da, 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 da.
It's
This is not My
just
Beautiful
one of their
House?
biggest songs. That's the wrong song.
oh. Well, okay. So my roommate when I was in college had one CD. Literally, he had one CD, and it was Little Feet by Talking Heads, and that was all he would play in my CD player. And I've never plotted to kill a person, even though I've been divorced. I've never plotted to kill a person so many times as I plotted him. Anyway. All right. So I guess starting this week, there's nothing more than we should start this way.
Like he's invading Ukraine, invading the Ukraine, invading Ukraine, invading the Ukraine, invading Ukraine, invading the Ukraine, invading Ukraine.
So that's still the top news story, because again, the insanity of that just can't be stopped. I'll throw out one that I saw today as far as the insanity of Ukraine. This is a note from Google, and this is a note from Google AdSense. It said, "Dear publisher, to the war in Ukraine, will pause monetization of content that exploits, dismisses, or condones the war. Please note we have already been enforcing on claims related to the war in the Ukraine when they invited existing policies. For instance, the dangerous and derogatory content policy prohibits monetizing content that incites violence or denies tragic events. This update is meant to clarify, in some cases expand, our publisher guidance as it relates to the conflict." So if you disagree with the mainstream media on Ukraine, you will be silenced.
How is that different in policy in any way than what it has been?
It is exactly the policy that's been anyway, but they're just being very explicit about it. They're trying to give people guidance as to here are your thought crimes.
Yeah, don't like Russia. That's the main one.
Well, and again, I think I've tried to make pretty clear that I'm not on Ukraine's side, but I'm not on Russia's side either. I think that like Ukraine, they know what they did. But there are two sides to this story, so you're allowed to show disinformation from one side but not the other. But again, how is that new?
Well, I think it's not so much that they want a balanced view of what's happening. They want the pro-Ukrainian view.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it's pretty clear they don't want a balanced view.
Well, and in fact, the first version of the song that I saw was actually censored by YouTube. I'm sure they're going around smashing it and censoring it as they go. So if we get censored on this one, Well, we'll know where that came from.
There's a big red warning when I come and get on my computer in the morning.
Yes. So Anne,
You okay there, Mark?
Oh, just need something to drink real quick.
drink vodka like strong Russian.
Well, that's kind of how I feel about the liquor stores who have decided not to sell the Russian vodka. I mean, I'd be happy to take that off their hands. I wouldn't even pay for it. God forbid Russians get any money for that. Just
That's
give it to me
right.
for free.
That's right. You're more than willing.
I
to
will dispose of that contraband.
Well, and speaking of being disposed of, it sounds like Russia's Black Sea flagship Moskva was hit with 2 Neptune anti-ship missiles and is currently on fire. So the Ukraine strikes back. The other thing I note on that one is the very first ship model I ever built was the Moskva, but it's the earlier version. It was when it was a helicopter carrier, not a missile cruiser like this one is. So the things that
now it's all grown up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. If the Russians have a navy, you've got a geopolitical problem because the Russians don't have navy. They don't need a navy. They just need 100,000 tanks.
Yeah.
And apparently those are pretty vulnerable to 110,000 missiles. But we have soundbite number 1.
Yes, I do. And this would be UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Bojo as I like to call him, promised continued support for the UK, from the UK. And don't you love his hair? He's got great hair. Who has better hair? Who wears it better, Bojo or Trump?
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is, okay. I was going to say they both have hair, but Trump, let's be real.
Well, it's there. He just combs it up from the back. It's just visiting. In any case,
now I'm gonna have to. I did miss some really funny ones from Quizzer, but then Codex is on point. Says Russia's been needing a warm water port since forever, and I guess if they're willing to burn their own warships, that'll help get them a warm water port. That's just mean.
All right.
So Bojo, who has hair.
Yeah. Continued support from the UK and the rest of the Western nations. Here he is.
And together with our partners, we are going to ratchet up the economic pressure, and we will continue to intensify week by week the sanctions on Russia. Not just freezing assets in banks and sanctioning oligarchs, but moving away from use of Russian hydrocarbons.
So Poland just recently announced that they were off of Russian oil and gas too. But here's the thing, not until the end of 2022. And so I'm wondering, all these Western European countries promising that, when do they mean that that's going to happen?
When their current contracts run out.
Yep. when the people in Great Britain stop driving cars, that's when that'll run out. And again, every one of these sanctions is kind of reversing back. Okay, I'll you know what, Russia? I'll prove to you that I'm wrong. I just won't eat for the next 6 months.
And here's the funny. I mean, this is another example of Biden being stupid. But just earlier this year, prior to the invasion, the Biden administration killed off a planned natural gas pipeline that would have gone from the Leviathan gas field off the coast of Israel up through. Eventually it would have gone up to Italy and killed it. They could have had the thing actually probably constructed within a year or two. So, but now Turkey's looking at maybe getting in on the game, and so they're looking at running a pipeline up via Turkey instead of directly through Cyprus and into Italy. But just another example. I guess of Biden's stupidity and and that there are workarounds eventually to Russian oil. So I mean, at some point they will be able to say no to Russian gas and turn on the gas from Israel.
Well, again, right now you created so many different market mismatches. Codex notes that they're going to be using Boris's BS for organic fertilizer now, and Quizzer notes that if I'm drinking Beluga vodka, am I on or off Russian energy? It's a very good question. But here in my mind, these sanctions are like the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. First it's ooh and ah, then there's running and screaming, and that's what it is every one of these sanctions has come back, and right now it looks like they're hurting the West far more than they're hurting Russia.
Well, and I've read that from other commentators too, that really in this case all these sanctions are going to do is punish Westerners, and particularly Europeans.
Well,
So,
and there is a record amount of money that's going to Russia this month because of the high energy prices and also the high fertilizer prices. They're just raking in the cash. Please do not throw me in that briar patch. That would be very bad if you threw me in that briar patch. All right. Yes, the plot is sheer elegance and simplicity. This is truly worthy of Dr. Evil. All right, and here's one that I know that Mark's going to tee off on. Biden has been busy at home. He announces a new director for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. I think this is old because this guy was not confirmed. So let's see what cut you have.
Yeah, this is just this week. Okay, here he is.
Finally, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the key agency enforcing gun laws,
Mistake one.
hasn't had a permanent director since 2015. Today, I'm proud to nominate David Chipman to serve as the director of the AFT.
No, they withdrew his nomination on September 9th.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why was I hearing this sound clip this week?
Well, that I don't know, but Chipman, who there are pictures of him posing in front of dead bodies. Not the guy. He is not the guy.
What?
Yep.
I don't even understand what you just said. I mean, the individual words I got, but the way you strung them together.
Chipman was actually. There are pictures of him posing in front of dead bodies at Waco. So there was no way that he was going to get approved.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this new guy, his name's something like Backbugger or something similar to that. And anyway, I'm sure he's picked because of his name. I mean, it fits in really well with the current Democratic grooming attitude. But anyway,
his name is
he's
Heinrich Dettelbach.
Deffelbach?
Dettelbach. Frau Blucher.
Anyway,
you're not being good.
And I
with
love
the
the way
sounds,
that Biden is always calls it the AFT.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Biden
Is this mic on?
is such a master speech. Why don't you just play cut 3, the missus?
Oh, okay. Hang on. Because I changed windows, that's why. Let me find it. Okay, here we go. He is a master of the English language, truly.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I guess we traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
And I, too, can describe the Biden administration in a single word.
I was in the
I'm not sure what that word is.
True international effort to pressure.
Oh God! Again,
uh,
I'm going to come back.
What am I doing here? Come on, man.
I think Codex has it spelled right too. But here again,
Try it with a Y.
The question is: he summoning Cthulhu? Oh, Cthulhu lies in eternal slumber in her lay. So okay, so I think Biden is, again, if you tried to write this as a situation comedy in the 70s, they would have laughed you off. I mean, it would have been considered too crazy to be true, and yet here we are. And so this goes again back to what I'm going to call the Wilder's principle of greatest amusement. The universe just falls out, so the most amusing result happens every time. I mean, Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump. What's the most amusing result? Donald Trump being elected. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. What's the most amusing result? Joe Biden stealing the election. It's hilarious. If you're going to have Armageddon, might as well have it, be hilarious. So back to the ATF, because we do know that, as in cut 4, that one of the big problems, or in fact, not the biggest problem right now, is ghost guns.
First, want to rein in the proliferation of so-called ghost guns. These are guns that are homemade, built from a kit, that include directions on how to finish the firearm. You can go buy the kit. They have no serial numbers, so when they show up at a crime scene, they can't be traced. And the buyers aren't required to pass a background check to buy the kit, to make the gun. Consequently, anyone from a criminal to a terrorist can buy this kit in as little as 30 minutes, put together a weapon. I want to see these kits treated as firearms under the Gun Control Act, which is going to require that the seller and manufacturers make the key parts with serial numbers and run background checks on the buyers when they walk in to buy that package.
I was unaware that criminals and terrorists ran background checks on each other when they sold each other illegal guns.
Yes, well, they do. I mean, that's pretty much the standard for the cartels. I mean, you got to make sure you're dealing with with a reasonable crook, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I'm just impressed that Biden realized that ghost guns aren't actually the spirits of dead guns or ghosts with guns, because he probably would have put Scooby-Doo on this case.
Gee whiz, gang. Looks like the killer gutted the victim, strangled him with his own intestines, and then dumped the body in the river.
Jinkies, what a mystery.
You're right, Scoob. We're dealing with one sick son of a bitch.
Okay, so
let's be honest here. Biden reads off of that super huge teleprompter, and I don't know if you saw a picture. I saw a picture. I mean, the thing is huge. I would love to have a TV in my living room that was as large as his teleprompter. But anyway, he's reading off of that. We have no idea whether he actually understands any of it. I mean, he may have later on, turn and ask Kamala if these guns could, travel through walls or something like that.
True international effort to pressure.
And Codex notes that she wants a comic book with Ghost Gun, the undead crime fighter, which was a great character. And I think it's all marketing. I think we should call them craft heritage firearm hobbyists.
I like
it. He had craft
organic.
He had organic craft farms. We remember.
Well, actually, AR-15 had a really cute name for them. They were poltergeist pew-pews.
Nobody
said you're gonna die.
Okay. But we're looking at that, and here's the thing: is one of the things I've noticed out of the left is they pick a topic. They're very good at picking a topic, polarizing that topic, and freezing it. Comes directly out of Walensky's playbook, and they freeze this topic to make people just upset about the idea. First, in 1990, I saw my dad, who was a life member of the NRA, become upset with the idea of assault weapons. Well, nobody needs something like that. They'd successfully use propaganda to program him that, well, nobody needs an assault weapon. Well, technically, they're all assault weapons if you use them that way, Dad. But when you look at something like the ghost gun, I think it just kind of is falling flat. That this is just a gun that does exactly the same thing as all of the other guns. It just doesn't have a number stamped in the side. It just is not nearly as sexy as taking away Rambo's gun. And again,
I know it's not Rambo, but it's the best I could do.
Oh, that was pretty close. I mean, good enough. But and the other thing we've learned is this: we can have a subway shooter that injures. I think he shot 33 times and injured 9 people. I don't know what the full numbers are, but guess what? No fatalities. Once again, proving a 9mm is a poor cartridge.
Do you want to hear my G. Gordon Liddy impression? I know you want to hear it.
Go for it.
If the 9mm was a decent gun, we'd have a new pope. Thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
you very much.
Well, I think it's another example of people who can't comprehend what sights are for.
Yes.
So, and it didn't help that he filled the whole subway car with smoke.
They couldn't see what she's shooting at. Yeah. And now here's the interesting thing: there are 10,000 cameras on the New York subway system, and there were 3 that were out. Which 3? The 3 where he was at.
The 3 that they took from that jail with Epstein was in.
Hey, we know that. Well.
Oh, come on. It was all a coincidence. I mean, it was a coincidence that the shooting occurred right after Biden's little anti-gun speech. I mean, it's just a coincidence.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of coincidences, we can tell that Ukraine is starting to wind down because guess what's coming back? COVID.
Coronavirus!
That's right. Philadelphia is reinstating an indoor mask mandate. Shanghai, of course, has been locked down with Chinese troops surrounding Shanghai. There's armor on the way to Shanghai. Yep. And they have no way to get more food. So go for Shanghai on cut number 5.
This is the sound of Shanghai after dark. People just stick their heads out of windows and yell and scream, and sometimes jump. That's a city of 25 million people.
But all socialist governments everywhere, they're doing everything they can do to help those people, including they're doing daily tests on pets and fish that are live fish that are being sold in the fish markets. So, they're taking this seriously.
Well, that sound, there's nothing unusual about that sound. I heard that every day of my life when I just sat there in my house during my first marriage. That's just the sound that played in my mind.
No, interestingly enough, they say that one of the reasons because these people have been literally locked in their apartments, they can't leave. And normally the way that the folks in Shanghai get food is via the black market. But because people can't get out of their apartments, it's shut down the black market. And so people don't have enough food, not because the government isn't giving them the normal supply, but just that has never been enough. The black market is down.
Ah, yes. Beautiful, beautiful communism. And remember all of the lefties that are juniors in college studying gender studies are thinking, yeah, I'm waiting for communism because I'm going to be the taster at the chocolate factory. That'll be my job in the communist. Well, I'll be the poet. I'll make everyone lattes. All right. Jim Wetzel notes, one night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble. Not much between despair and ecstasy. Spelled with an X. Oh, I love it. All right. It is time for the segment I'm calling for tonight only. News from the future. And let's talk about...
I can see the future!
Let's talk about machines getting ready to take over.
The future.
So recently in San Francisco, police pulled over a car to get the driver, only to find one problem.
It looks like an ordinary traffic stop. The officer gets out to speak with the driver, but then...
Ain't nobody in it.
Why? It was a Tesla self-driving somewhere, right? And you can finish this story up, the missus.
Well, okay, so you can see the screen cap on the screen, right, where they pulled it over, and they're just kind of walking back and forth, trying to figure out how to get into it or anything. And as they walk away from it, it just drives away and drives through the next traffic light and then pulls over again.
So I wonder what happens in the future when we have. Well, let me tell a story before you play that cut, because this is something that happened in the past. There was a robotic police officer. This was from October of 2019, and this is put on patrol, or a police robot was put on patrol at a park, and so Kogo Gabara rushed over to the motorized police officer and pushed its emergency alert button on seeing a brawl break out in the Salt Lake Park, Los Angeles. This is from metro.co.uk, which appears to be the most coherent place to get information on Los Angeles, of occupied Los Angeles. But instead of offering assistance, the egg-shaped robot, whose official name is HP RoboCop, barked at Gabara, "Step out of the way." Dead insult to injury. So she pressed the button to ask for help. It says, "Step out of the way," and then dead insult to injury. The high-tech device then rolled away while humming an intergalactic tune to itself, pausing periodically to say, "Please keep the park clean." I was pushing the button, but it said, "Step out of the way." It just kept ringing and ringing and kept pushing and pushing.
It's almost like it's a Windows machine.
Yeah. So it left one woman with the head. So there was a big fight, and one woman had a head wound that required emergency treatment. And the robots, of course, cost between $60,000 and $70,000 a year just to lease, are in a trial phase, and their alert buttons had not been activated. So they're running something around that has an alert button. You can't press the alert button. I mean, you can press it, but it won't do anything. Oh, this sounds like the perfect police scenario. But you have the perfect police scenario, don't you? I mean,
yes, we do. In the future, we're in both the police and the criminals are robots.
This is the police drone. Please pull your vehicle to the side of the road. Wait a minute. This car has no driver. There are no humans in the car.
Yes, there are no humans here, but I am here. I am driving the car.
I can't give a ticket to another robot. Are you sure you aren't Mark Zuckerberg?
The number one thing I learned from that is that robots do not grok contractions.
They do not.
Are you sure you aren't Mark Zuckerberg?
Come with me, or there will be trouble. All right, but yet our robot overlords still also have one other little trick up their sleeve, and so there was a contraption, and its job was to make sure that the aisles are clean. Is that what this cut is? This next cut?
Yes.
Yeah. So so the idea was this robot would patrol the aisles of the store, and it would find messes. But there was a slight problem. Go ahead and hit it.
Shopping experience possible. When it walks the store, it's monitoring only the floors. It's looking for any spills, and if there is a spill, it will announce over the PA system for an employee to come and clean up the spill. Marty does not clean it, but it will stand there and it will warn customers that are walking by.
And what it will do is so this is actually what happened when they put this thing in place. So it was going down the aisles, and what's in the aisles? I mean, they store food in the aisles, and so it knocks spaghetti sauce off the shelf itself, right? So the robot, then its sensors note that there's spaghetti sauce all over the floor. So it calls for a wagey to come, to come clean it up while it goes back and forth, tracking with its wheels spaghetti sauce all up and down the aisle, making the best.
Clean it up, wagey.
Clean, wagey, clean.
And okay, so the guy that was interviewed there said, and little kids love it, because it has the big eyes, the big eyes that are staring deeply into your soul as you shop.
Beware, I am the first horseman of the apocalypse. Clean it up, wagey. Clean it up. Codex Nuts. The face of evil Pez. It's a giant robotic Pez dispenser. Wilder's getting one for Christmas.
Which, and actually that has to be a little bit like working for Facebook, renowned human, Mark Zuckerberg. Which got me to thinking, what would happen should Al Gore and Mark Zuckerberg meet? Maybe it might sound a little like this.
Hi, I'm former Vice President Al Gore. Nice to meet you.
I'm Mark Zuckerberg. I founded Facebook.
Facebook? I've never heard of it. Did you know I invented the internet?
Why are you talking that way? Are you making fun of me? I'll have you know I'm a very powerful man, even though I'm required to use a booster seat when I ride in the car.
I'm not making fun of you. Are you making fun of me? People used to call me the little wooden boy, so I hired a consultant to make me sound more human.
Are you saying I'm not human? I am totally human. Look at all the human things I do. Just don't ask me to drink water. And you did not invent the internet.
That's it. Time to kick your scrawny ass.
Oof. Ow. Stop that.
Oh.
If only to be a fly on the wall.
Get
Who could
my
be more
wife's
human
name.
than those two? Yes.
Get my wife's name out of your mouth. Uh-oh. And then Hillary shows up and they start merge and start making nomad noises. We are nomad. We are nomad. Love it. Star Trek references. Oh, so did we miss any stories that you wanted to hit this week, Mark?
No, I know. I did you see the picture with Biden and a bird had pooped on his lapel?
That was awesome.
Yes, we did see that. But I have it on good authority that birds are not real.
Oh,
They actually sit on the power poles to charge. They're all CIA plot. Literally, I've seen a van that says exactly that on the side. Birds aren't real. You could look it up. The missus, did you have any stories that you wanted to cover?
No, pretty much hit
it. We've had ships on fire off the coast of Azov, and all of these shows will be over like tears in the rain.
We do have our braying Jackass of the week, though. Don't forget about that.
Oh no! I'm absolutely not. I just wanted to make sure that we were covering everything, and we didn't have any other men winning. Sporting events where primarily the other competitors were women. I will note that Donald Trump got his last laugh this week. Again, apparently they made fun of him when he was addressing the UN, and he told Germany, he said, "Germany, you're totally at the mercy of Russia for petroleum." And the Germans just laughed at him.
When will we not be friends with the Russians?
That's right.
Yeah.
And now the official poll numbers are showing Biden hitting a record low of 33%, lower than I believe any president maybe in history. So Joe Biden has become less popular than coronavirus, which is hard to believe. So that's just in for the news desk. I'm trying to find any other good ones. Let's see, time doesn't exist. The Bucha massacre is being investigated as a fraudulent hoax. Okay. Shocking there. Those are kind of some of the highlights from the last 10 minutes coming across the news desk. And Michael Jackson is still dead. Just an update.
Damn it. I've always been wanting Thriller to be true.
Oh wait, I bet the polls for Jeff Davis in the Union and Mr. Lincoln in the Confederacy are lower. That's from Codex. But there is something. And Mark, did you post any signs on the death comet?
Huh? The what?
The death comet.
The death comet?
The death comet. Yes.
I guess I'm not. What's the death comet?
Okay. It's not like Def Comet Jam. I'm pulling it up right now. The death comet.
I believe the science people at NASA would call it a near-Earth object.
Not when it's a death comet.
Well, that sounds much more dramatic now, doesn't it?
Oh wait, no, the one I'm showing this
sexy.
Well, maybe it's not a death comet. Maybe it's a deaf comet. It just can't hear anything. Remember, nobody. When you're in space, no one can hear you scream.
And I did see just generally a story on this one. I need to pull it up though. But there is a huge comet apparently headed our way. It's like again, it's like bigger than the circumference of. I can't use Mark Wahlberg as an example.
I did hear about that, but it's not going to come any closer than the orbit of Saturn.
Yeah, but it's huge.
but not so huge that it's going to
be anywhere near us.
Risk Earth.
well, it can't risk Earth right now because of Bruce Willis, right? We've got to wait. Bruce Willis, whose ailment is completely not vaccine related, he's necessary in order to save us. But the largest comet
they just have to outweight Bruce Willis. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That the comments are finally starting to show their faces again now that Bruce Willis is ill. Intimidating, described by one researcher as big and blacker than coal. The comet Bernardinelli Bernstein has spent the last million years hurtling towards the center of our solar system. So there you have it. We have stuff. We have incoming, but we also have an award. It's our weekly award. Mrs. Why don't you take it from here?
Okay. Oh, hang on.
This is Neil Young.
Hey! Get that jackass out of here!
And I'm proud to present my Brain Jackass of the Week.
The Brain Jackass of the Week, which normally is held by Kamala Harris, but she was very strangely quiet this week.
So, and hang on, before you go too much farther on this one, I've just got a note on your theme music for this. That Neil Young sounds like he could be from like Mayberry, right?
Right.
And he's from Canada, so I think you should go like, "Hey, this is Neil Young,"
But I've heard him sing, and he doesn't sing like that. He sings much more like he's from the South.
Well, maybe he should sound like Geddy Lee then.
I don't really even know what Geddy Lee sounds like. I mean, other than what he sings.
He goes, "Hey, take off, don't you know?" All right, carry on.
All right.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Well, the Brain Jackass of the Week this week, because coronavirus is not done.
Coronavirus! Coronavirus!
Thank you, Dr. Cardi. This it goes to a Korean doctor whose name is, and I'm going to butcher it, Ma Sang-hyuk, who is the vice president of the Korean Vaccine Society. And the sound clip is not from him; it's actually from a musician. But we'll listen to it anyway.
Ever since I was a kid, I feel like I have kind of been like a lone wolf, and I never really had that many friends.
Well, if you haven't had that many friends, you probably haven't had coronavirus, because that's what Dr. Ma Sang-hyuk says, vice president of the Korean Vaccine Society, who posted on Facebook, "The adults who have not yet been infected with COVID-19 are those who have interpersonal problems." So if you haven't had the Rona, it's because you don't have any friends.
Well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take a 90-degree turn on this one, because I still remember when the Who sang about Dr. Ma Sang-hyuk.
Well, get on with it.
Hey now, Ma Sang-hyuk. Hey now, Ma Sang-hyuk. I'm sorry, this little bit sounded like Magic. Yeah, sounded like Magic Bus to me.
Well, it's because you have hearing problems. I hate to have to.
And no friends, right?
Yes, and no friends. Absolutely. So that. And this has been Neil Young's Brain Jackass of the
Week. Oh, that just me up sound. All right. So we have a 12-year-old with a soundboard in aisle 3. 12-year-old with soundboard in aisle 3.
Well, that's what all the robot voices are about. I have found the toy and I enjoy playing with it. So who knows how many more robot voices you'll have to hear.
Okay. Well, once again, I think folks, we have hit this out of the park. Mark, do you have any parting words? Any parting words of wisdom for the audience tonight?
Yeah, don't walk. No, don't run while carrying scissors.
All right. The missus?
Look both ways before you cross the street, especially if Joe Biden's driving anywhere near you. Look out!
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to this week's edition of Bombs and Bants of Wednesday Rants. As always, I am John Wilder.
This is smart, I guess.
And I'm the missus. I'm pretty sure of that. No, we can't end it on time. No.
Oh, no, we did it right. I hate that. Say the words.
Y'all come back now, you hear?